Y'all know I gotta start this vlog off drinking Vietnamese iced coffee. I got my pal right here.
Trung Pham.
Okay. And he is from Vietnam. Did you grow up there?
I was born in Vietnam, but pretty much grew up here.
Okay.
I'll be retiring in about a month, and I'm moving back to Vietnam.
How you feel about that? Are you excited?
I am so excited.
Yeah.
The food scene, the cost of living,
Yep.
the beautiful weather in Da Nang,
Yeah.
coastal city. They call them the South Beach of Vietnam.
The South Beach. I hope that's a good thing, though. I feel like people go crazy at South Beach.
Well, it's a good thing from a standpoint that it is beautiful, palm trees, sand, ocean, but it's not as crazy nightlife and vibe like South Beach.
So it's more chill. You don't got to deal with like really drunk young people.
No, absolutely not, absolutely not. More chill, definitely more chill. Yep. But like I said, the food scene is unbelievable. Like white meat, you can get it for like $1.25, $2. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's amazing, man. Hell yeah.
So where have you traveled to before?
I've traveled. Well, I used to live in Mexico City for a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, Hector. Fluent Spanish. Talk to him in Spanish.
Héctor, ¿qué onda? ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, aquí trabajando.
Sí, hay que trabajar. ¿Te gusta trabajar en un restaurante vietnamita?
Sí, me gusta mucho, mucho.
¿Te gusta la comida?
Toda mi vida tengo 20
Ah, toda tu vida. Qué chido. ¿Y de dónde eres?
de Jalisco.
De Jalisco, güey. All right, I got the Vietnamese iced coffee. Y'all already know what it is. That's how you got to start the day. So, you know, Lake Street is probably like the mural capital of, what do you call it? Minneapolis. So we're gonna look at some murals before we get some food, get some tacos, maybe get some Somali food. We'll see what's up. Okay, so I got my homie Roberto.
Saludos, saludos, saludos.
And Yoel.
What's up?
Welcome back. So today we're on the south side of Minneapolis. Lake Street is one of the veins of Minneapolis, one of the principal streets, probably the most dense street in the whole city, I'd say. Filled with tons of businesses, many Mexicans. It kind of feels like Little Mexico when you're over here, but also Somali, Ecuadorian, Asian. It's a hub for immigrant culture in general. Lake Street is also, well, okay, South Minneapolis is also where, unfortunately, some of the terrible things happen. Like George Floyd that everyone knows. This area holds a lot of emotional and historic weight. And in the same way, during Metro Surge, obviously, because there's tons of immigrants here, tons of Mexicans, tons of Latinos, Somalis, as we know what Trump was saying about all of them. Because of that, a lot of the ICE action was here. I mean, it was all over both the cities, even the suburbs, even like far out in Minnesota, but this was at the center of it. This was at the center of the news. But today, you know, we're gonna support some immigrant businesses, we're gonna get some good food, walk around and, you know, F around, let's say that.
So this was a horse, and horse is any culture a big thing, I would say. It's something that people love to see. So that's why we were showcasing the horse. And, we had a lot of people stop by, driving on the street, and be like, this is beautiful. My daughter likes to ride horses. People who had horses stop by. They were like so blown away.
It represents the wisdom of our ancestors. And I think the hibiscus is the main message, is the place we can live all together, because the hibiscus growing in East Africa, like it's the owner of the building, but also growing in Mexico and also growing here. So it's an element represent many cultures. And the butterfly is the representation of migrations. So the main of the mural is how, being so different, we can coexist together in one place, and how we can be together and helping us growing together, even we are different.
Rock planet underground.
What you trying to tell me?
He's Misfin, yeah?
Mesfin. What's
Very
up?
good.
How you doing? Salamno?
Ow.
Oh,
NACTO is an organization that works on different designs for transportation, so like the bus routes, the crosswalks, everything like that. So I just got hired on by them to take photos of their walk shops. So they were like taking a tour, checking out how like walkable our cities are, how bikeable our cities are, everything like that.
Mira, mira atrás. Te tengo que saludar. No, porque es fácil como poner a saludar ahí. Ponemos el micro, ¿sabes? No pasa.
I feel like this is exactly the kind of place that you like, man.
What, this place?
This type of place. It's like the loudest shit.
It's that market way that really got me.
It's like you can't hear anything.
Exactly.
Mad noisy. This is like when people say, the Asian restaurant's good, and you see the Chinese kid doing homework.
I literally was just talking about that last night. Because I was telling, who was I with? I was talking to someone about how one time, I studied some Mandarin, and I was visiting an ex in Boston, and I was at this mall, and there's a tiny Chinese joint. I noticed it. I saw the Chinese, and I kind of peeked in, and I saw a little kid in the corner doing homework, and like maybe two people behind the counter. I was like, let's fucking go, let's go.
That's how you know the food's gonna be fire, right?
So I stepped up, and I was feeling, at this point, I was still feeling kind of confident in my Mandarin skills. So I ordered in Mandarin, and I wanted 5 chicken dumplings, 5 pork dumplings, nothing too crazy. This should be in my ex, and then I'm sitting there, no other customers. I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting. Like looking out, look at the kid, like, yo, kid, what's going on? And then finally, a lady comes out out the back, and she's got 5 containers in one side, in one bag, and 5 in another. So come find out, I got 50 dumplings or something like that. And I was gonna be like, no, I'm like, all right, thank you.
Want to know something crazy? I made the same mistake. I was in China. I was in Beijing. It was early one morning. Walking to this dumpling shop, and I had to like search what a dumpling was,
Yeah.
like so I could show them. And I was like, "Give me 6 of these," and they're like, so I'm sitting there, and it wasn't too long. They had them like fried up or like steamed up already. So they gave me, each order apparently was 6 dumplings, and I just ordered 6 of them, right? So they gave me 36 dumplings, and I didn't realize what I was doing until I saw that big bag. All right.
Pretty
Damn,
great
bro.
mistake.
Yeah. I mean, that would be great. If you
That's
have like
like-
the munchies.
Definition. What did Bob Fries call it? Happy little accident. Happy little accident. Yeah, I went back to my girlfriend's house. She lived with like 3 roommates, and I'm just like, dumplings are here. I was the king, dude. I was like, 50 dumplings.
So I got an order of memelas or memelidas. Joel's got some
2
tacos.
street tacos, al pastor, and then pollo.
And Roberto has a giant quesadilla.
Yeah, flor de calabaza, which is squash blossom, and arguably the best vegetarian Mexican option, and tripa, tripe.
That's vegetarian.
Well, the tripe isn't. The squash blossom is. I'm just saying, like, if you go to a place and they have flor de calabaza as one of the options, like for a filling, do it. It's like so good. It's so good. I feel like a lot of times, especially when it comes to Mexican food, vegetarian is not thought of. It's thought of as lesser. But man, that's probably my favorite quesadilla is flor de calabaza quesadilla.
We're adding on to the hospital again. We're almost finished building this new surgical building. I mean, it looks good, but I don't understand why we need a new building.
All right, so right now we're outside of Midtown Global Market. As you can see over there, it says Midtown Global Market. It's basically a food court and also cultural center. And it's called Midtown Global Market because it houses businesses from all over the world. So different kinds of ethnicities, different kinds of cultures and all that. And it's a great place to get something to eat. They host a lot of events. But today we're here to check out the Somali Museum. For those of you that don't know, there is a small museum underground the market, and it's dedicated to the Somali community. So we're gonna see if it's open. Hopefully we can check it out. And basically let our hunger come back because we just ate. I didn't talk much about the restaurant that we were at, but I wanted to go to a restaurant that has food, like Mexican food that most people don't really eat that much. It's called La Poblanita, so food from Puebla, a region in southern Mexico, a little bit south of Mexico City. So I always want to do things where like people might not know. Everyone knows tacos al pastor, everyone knows carnitas, you know what I mean? But to do something a little bit different.
Divided into 3 different sections. The first section talks about Somalis in Minnesota, so a little story about how they got here, and then featuring folks in the different sectors of the community, including politics, education, business, arts, and religion. So this highlights community leaders and sort of like a little bit about their history and story, right? So if you follow me to the second section of the museum, here you'll find a lot of content about Somali history, starting from early Somalis, all the way back to cave paintings in the country, to building civilization, to colonization, colonial resistance, building a republic, a revolution, and civil war, all the way down to the current state of the country. And so once you are sort of done with those both sections, the third section will be exclusively artifacts. So Somali historical and cultural artifacts. Here's a little sample of what you would find in a traditional Somali household. These are items made from wood, textiles, plants, fibers, and animal skin. So yeah, this is sort of a set of wood items made from wood that would be used to serve guests and also keep spices stored and out of sight.
Are these like replicas or this is real?
This is real.
Okay.
Yeah, these are not replicas. This is called gumber. It's basically a seat, as it looks like, and the top part is made from animal skin, usually goat's leather. Yeah. This is called han. It's used to make butter by like this outer shell is, you would put milk in here and then women would sort of rock it back and forth, and that motion would divide the milk into separate sections, which would create butter.
Churn, right? Churn.
That's what I was thinking too. Like,
Sure.
What about the action of rocking the milk would churn the butter? How?
Honestly, I don't know the specifics of that. All I know is from talking to folks who have used it before, they would let the milk sit for a few hours in here, come in, rock it for about 1 to 2 hours, leave, let it sit for another 2 to 3 hours. So it's like it's a process of waiting and then rocking it and then waiting and then rocking it, and then I guess that would result in, you know, the top part being the butter and the bottom part being the milk, or vice versa. I'm not entirely sure.
all right, so we are at Taco El Primo. It's pretty funny, like these kind of names. There's a lot of names like Tacos El Jefe. It's a pretty common thing at Mexican spots. But yeah, a friend of my sister recommended this restaurant who's from the neighborhood, who's also Mexican. So we're gonna see what it's like.
Could I do one Mexican style taco, please? Al pastor.
You don't like onion, bro, at all?
I'm so serious.
Yo, that's a hot take for real.
I know. And
That's
I'm
insane, bro.
I don't like tomatoes. I don't like onions.
That's crazy.
And I don't like churro. Like,
I think Starburst is the worst.
The worst. But fine.
I haven't had Starburst in so long, I couldn't even tell you which one I think is the worst.
Apparently, I like the ones people hate and dislike the ones people love.
what's your favorite Starburst?
Orange.
Thank you. Yes.
Orange.
Ah. Cuando puedas, 2 tacos de carnitas, por favor. Gracias.
¿Sabes la cumbia, güey?
Un poquito, la verdad. Pero él sí sabe bailar cumbia. Sí, es mexicano. Es mexicano, él sabe.
Soy mexicano de aquí para arriba y gringo de aquí.
Ay, no mames. Uy.
I should have gotten 2 tacos.
Yeah. You only got one?
Yeah.
You know,
You never get one taco, brother. You can't do it.
you know they say in Japan, like, it's rude to eat and walk. I feel that's a very American thing in general, though. Because honestly, I feel like people don't do that in Mexico either. When you go to like a little stand, street food, you eat it there. You stand up, you eat it there, you finish there, you throw it away.
I hate putting a taco in a container. Like, I hate closing a container on a taco. It's not. It's not appropriate.
It's wild to me that this came like wrapped up.
Yeah.
It's
I think,
good though.
I think what's different is like there's probably a lot of people here, Joe, that are getting it as a meal on their way to work or something like that, or after work, and so it's like, all right, I'm on the move. But yeah, I think you're on it. You should try and stop. Crime City.
Does it have street food where you eat it where you're at, and when you're done, you throw it away?
Yeah.
You stand, you enjoy the food.
Yeah.
You're not in a rush.
Last time I was in Cancun, every night for dinner I would go to the same taco stand.
That's also fun too.
Thank you.
3 tacos every time. Tacos were like the size of the plate. Oh, beautiful. Eat all of that.
That's how you know that's that real shit.
Yeah.
It comes with the salt, bro. Mexicans will just add salt on anything. Salt, limon.
Cat did it.
Ay, pero mira qué cosa. What is that, bro?
Ese helado de limón
That is insane.
y un agua de pepino con limón. Normal.
Sí, sí, es un popote. Cubierto en chile.
Sí, es un popote mexicano.
Yeah, I've been watching Brazil versus Morocco, Brazil y Marruecos. All right, so it's been a long day walking around. I was gonna do more, but you know what? We did a couple food spots, the museum, and now we ended it at Plaza Mexico. We're watching the World Cup, Marruecos y Brazil, and Morocco. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. I want to enjoy my own time. Y'all can have the rest.
Sensation, and so you can't form clouds. So like in Minnesota, if it's not snowing in the winter, it's because it's too cold. It's literally too cold for snow to form from water in the clouds. And so there's no clouds typically when it's like -20 or whatever. And so the sun's out and I'm like, okay, I need to go fucking...
You know, I've lived here like my entire life, just about. I've never realized that.
Yeah.
Also, we keep forgetting to cross the street.